Let's see how you do under pressure. Oh, yeah. I've been wanting this forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Okay. Hey. Yeah. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra, extra. Work with me.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in to another episode here. We're doing the pregame show, the Arizona Cardinals versus the Washington Commanders. And ladies and gentlemen, right now we are sitting about 4 hours away from kickoff. Cardinals versus the Commanders, and I am so darn excited. This is an opportunity for the Arizona Cardinals to come out here and get their season back on track, ladies and gentlemen. Let me give some huge shout outs here to the people that are currently in the chat. We got Haven, we got Martine, we got X, we got Angel, we got Hernandez, we got JK, we got Michael up in the chat. Richie, I see you there as well. Appreciate y'all for being here. We're going to have a good, fun-filled show for you guys today. We're going to be talking about who's in, who's out. We're going to talk about what the Arizona Cardinals need to do to win this game, and overall just have a conversation amongst each other and just overall try to have a good time, right? Now, like I said, the Arizona Cardinals do not have their game until 1 p.m. Arizona time. So we still got a little under 4 hours as of right now, but we got some really good games for football Sunday, so I'm really excited about it. Let me give a huge shout out here to the people that are let me give a huge shout out to the sponsor of the video, BetUS. If you're looking for a brand new sports book, BetUS is the way to go. Currently, right now, if you use promo code YouTube150, they will provide you 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit and 125% sign-up bonus on your next two. Now, that is going to be up to $2,000. Using promo code YouTube150 upon signing up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, actually, let me do one other thing here real quick. I see there seem to be a lot of people that are very confused with where to find live streams on the channel. There seems to be a lot of people that just do not know that we do a lot of lives on this channel. Let me go ahead and just kind of show you guys real quick that I believe that the way that most people actually watch the videos is because it's recommended to you, right? Am I wrong? Let me know in the chat. A lot of people, that's really the only way they click on it. But if you go onto the channel, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Arizona Sports Fan channel here on YouTube, you should be able to go to the live tab. Like there's multiple different tabs you can click on, right? There's the video tab, there's a short tab, and then there's the live tab as well. On the live tab, you're going to take a look to see all the shows that we have going on, right? Like we actually went live 2 days ago and we had Alex Clancy from Locked On Cardinals. 4 days ago we went live here as well, talking about what Jonathan Gannon said. So we have a lot of live streams. If you guys do not know, all you needed to go is click on the live tab. This is also on your mobile app as well. You can go to the shorts. You can go just to the videos if you like those that content better. Or if you want to participate on a what is it called? A poll or other news. To you guys, it's called the community tab. To me, it's called the post tab. But just FYI, ladies and gentlemen, we are putting up a lot of content here throughout the entirety of the 2024 season. The most important tab here is the live tab because there's just not a lot of people that show up, and I don't think that they get the notifications, or I don't think that they know. So for future reference, ladies and gentlemen, we are putting out content a lot. I just don't think YouTube is providing the adequate enough notifications. So just FYI, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get started here. Let's talk about the Arizona Cardinals versus the Washington Commanders Week 4 matchup. And I appreciate you guys for being here, by the way. I think this is going to be a really good show. I'm really excited about this game. I've already heard some pessimistic Cardinal fans. I've heard some optimistic Cardinal fans. I want to give some love here to specific Cardinal fans. I want to get your guys' gauge before we talk about the ins and the outs and the keys to success. On my last video, not live stream, but my last video, I ended up having a very specific time on that video, and I ended up asking you guys, how do you guys truly feel about the 2024 Arizona Cardinals? Because as of right now, the Arizona Cardinals have 3 straight home games, right? Or we had 3 straight home games. This is going to be our last home game in terms of just being straight, right? 1, 2, 3, back to back to back. Now, as of right now, if you look at game time, you can actually go to this game for as little as like $22. Like I'm not even kidding. Commanders versus Cardinals, you can get a ticket. Now, granted, it's at the nosebleeds for $22, $19. So to me, this tells me that there's not a lot of people that are really into this season, or they're not really 100% bought in or sold in. So I want to give some love to those subscribers that took the time to obviously comment on my video, and I want to kind of give them some shout outs and talk to what they said. And we will get started on the show here. So I want to start off with this comment here. Shout out here to Bula. He says this: a loss this Sunday likely means no playoffs. And please, ladies and gentlemen, let me know in the chat if you feel the same way. We're probably going to be doing this a little bit more often than not, so make sure you comment on videos, because I want to give some shout outs to people that don't know live streams exist, but I want to give them a voice as well. So Bula says this: a loss this Sunday, which means today, likely means no playoffs. The cellar will be reserved for them. Kyler's trade talk begins early, as it would indicate that he was the problem, not Kingsbury. His inability to move to the offense on a key possession in both losses is a hint of what is the problem. This team also has not been on the same page on key drives. Harrison does not attack the ball. No Fitz Maxey. He does not catch with his hands, but waits for the perfect throw to settle into his breadbasket. Offensive line did not open lanes for Connor against the Lions. Without a running game, the Cards are one-dimensional. So there's a lot, right? There's a lot to unpack with the specific comment, but this is the type of stuff that we're getting as Cardinal fans, right? And here's the thing, like, I'm never going to sit here and say, oh, you're wrong, right? You're wrong because you should believe what I'm saying. No, honestly, at the end of the day, this is one guy's opinion, right? That's what the Arizona Sports Fan here was founded on. One guy's opinion, me, aka Mike, right? But there is a lot of people out here that feel this way, and I want to make sure that they do have a voice. Now, I do agree in a sense with my guy Bullet here in terms of, if the Cardinals lose this game, it probably does mean that maybe playoffs are not going to be attainable, right? There's a slight sliver of that. There's a lot of Cardinal fans right now that are not optimistic about this team right now, right? And they need to be shown that the Cardinals can win. So I do believe that you are right in a sense. Now, the whole Cliff Kingsbury thing, let's not get it twisted, right? Cliff Kingsbury started off really good with the Cardinals as well, right? In year one, he was 5.5 wins. Year two, he was 8 wins. And then we all know what happened in year 3. And then we all know what happened in year 4, right? Now, we can very well see Cliff Kingsbury do very good this year. But like I said, don't get it twisted, ladies and gentlemen. We need to see a bigger sample size. The reason why we got rid of Cliff Kingsbury after the extension, and although it seemed really silly that we gave him an extension to begin with, the Cardinals needed to choose. It was either your franchise quarterback or your head coach. What happened in year 4 just got to the point where it was so bad within the locker room that it needed to get blown up, right? It needed to get blown up at the end of the day. So I don't want people to say, oh, we shouldn't have got rid of Kingsbury, because we should have. At the end of the day, Kingsbury got found out as a head coach. This was way too much in terms of being a head coach. Now, if he was going to accept being an offensive coordinator position, then I think we would all be okay with that. The problem was that I don't think anybody in their right mind coming from a head coach position is going to want to accept a demotion. Would you? If you were a supervisor or a manager and your boss comes to you and says you need to get demoted, would you accept that? I don't know, right? Obviously, we need to be in that situation. So I don't want to come out here and say that, Kingsbury wasn't the problem, because, there was instances that we've seen that he was, right? But we need to see what happens with Marvin. A lot of people are pointing the finger at Marvin Harrison Jr., saying he's not Larry Fitzgerald. Well, let's keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, the people that were comparing they were comparing Marvin Harrison Gerald, that were comparing Marvin Harrison Jr. to Larry Fitzgerald were us, was the fans, was the media, right? There's nobody out here, the players, were saying anything like that, right? We also got to keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that Larry Fitzgerald did not start off great, right? Larry Fitzgerald didn't start off as a Larry Fitzgerald that we knew, right? Anquan Bolden was that guy in his rookie year. Larry Fitzgerald wasn't. Larry Fitzgerald had, 700 yards in his rookie year? I mean, it was respectable, but it wasn't one of those things where, Larry Fitzgerald's born. No, you got to give this guy some time. Yes, he's the 4th overall pick, and I don't know where Cardinal fans are coming from with the whole idea that Marvin wasn't a pick. He was. We got a solidified number 1 wide receiver right now that we didn't have last year. So there's that. Now, in terms of he doesn't attack the ball, he's still young. He's going to go through these bumps and bruises. Now, if we're talking about year 2, year 3, and he's still not doing this, okay, then I'll give you that. But this is 3 game sample size. 3 game sample size. So there's a lot of Cardinal fans right now that are feeling this type of way. I want to just make sure that I give them some love because, like I said, a lot of people don't know that I have these live streams. So I do agree with my guy Bully here with some senses, but there's some things that I'm not there. I do agree that this game is very, very important for the Cardinals to win. For national media, just for like media people, for the Cardinals, confidence, they need to win this game. They can't lose by a rookie quarterback. Let's continue. We got my guy Thor in the chat says, I'm in the middle with how I feel about this team. Too many what ifs, and our game changers are hurt. That's fair. I know there's a lot of people, just like my guy Thor here, feels the same way, right? They don't know exactly how to feel. They're just kind of, let's see what happens, right? It's only week 3. That's fair. Andrew, what's up, Andrew? He says this, personally, I love the growth. Personally, I love the growth and we show, but if they cannot make it consistent, we're in trouble. Kyler has given me a new faith in him. Just be consistent, please. That's boom. Andrew, you're right. I think we've seen good stuff from Kyler Murray. We have, right? We've seen Rams matchup, and he looked dominant. He looked great. There were some people that didn't like Kyler Murray that are back on the train. That's fine, right? We're all Cardinal fans at the end of the day. But you're right. Consistency is what we need to see. 110%. And for the super chatters, we're going to get to your super chats here soon. So thank you so very much for super chatting in, by the way. Appreciate it. We're going to get to the super chat soon, I promise you. Let's go to my guy War. Nature War says, trade Kyler, trade Kyler, trade Kyler. You will all see. If the Cardinals don't win this game, I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to see a lot of Cardinal fans jumping up and jumping out of the bushes and saying this. I promise you, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Be prepared. Jump off of social media. Don't go on Twitter. Don't go on Reddit. Don't go on anything that you don't want to hear this, because if the Cardinals lose this game, you're going to hear it. I'm not on board with trade Kyler. I'm not, but I'm just an optimistic Cardinal fan, right? I'm an optimist. I think we can win this game. Let's see what happens in week 4. One more, and then we'll get started on the show. Let's go with, is it Zachary? Yeah, I believe Zachary or Zachariah. Appreciate you. He says, yo, I'm optimistic about this Cardinal team. I do believe after the Lions game, there needs to be some holes filled up. Marvin and Kyler need to find more chemistry. It's very important that our quarterback and wide receiver 1 are on the same page. But in other words, and I was very questionable with this going into the season, but the Lions game, the defense really showed, and they're proving that they can be a top 10 defense, and we're only in week 4. Both sides of the ball will improve through the season, and with that starts happening, this Cardinals team can go far and make a push for the playoffs. So we got a Cardinal fan that's optimistic. That's great. That's fantastic, right? But it all starts with the wins, right? I think we've all said this before. The Arizona Cardinals can be a good team. We just need to be consistent, ladies and gentlemen. We need to see some consistency here on the we need to see some consistency. All right, let's get to the super chats here real quick. We got my guy Mace. What's up, Mace? He says, I'm in a hotel right now next to the stadium. A lot of Commanders fans, but we got this. Rise up, Red Sea. Well, Mace, I appreciate you for being there, showing out. I'm not going to lie to you. There might be a lot more Commanders fans than you think. Because if you look at, like, all these third parties, like, where you can buy these tickets, like, I'm on Game Time right now. You can get a ticket right now for the Arizona Cardinals Commanders matchup for $22. I kid you not. $22. And there's even some lower level tickets that you can go for $78. That's before fees. Right? I see a ticket right here for $49. Lower level. Cardinals versus Commanders. It's wild. This tells me that there's a lot of Cardinal fans that are not quite yet there. And that's fine. We just need a win, right? We just need a win. Start off with the win. Let's go back in 500, and let's see what we can do. I appreciate the super chat, my guy. Thank you so very much. All right, let's get started with the show. All right, let's first talk about who's in and who's out. Let's first talk about who's in and who's out. Now, we already kind of know who's in and who's out, right? We've talked about this all week long. And I just want to make sure for the people that don't know or that didn't tune into live streams or that didn't click onto videos, I want to make sure that they're fully aware. But if you guys do not know, Trey McBride ruled out. Not going to be available as a pass catcher for Kyler Murray, right? We won't have our dynamic playmaker up the field in Trey McBride because he's been ruled out. Now, that was on Thursday, I believe. Another guy that was ruled out already was Tonga. Is it Kyrie's Tonga? That one isn't much of a big blow, but the big blow is definitely Trey McBride. Now, if you're asking yourself, well, what happens there, right? What do we do? Elijah Higgins is going to need to step up. Tip Ryman is probably going to get a bigger role. I have confidence that Elijah Higgins is going to be able to do something here, right? So far this year, he's got 4 receptions, 41 yards, 1 touchdowns, average about 10.3 yards a catch. And let's call it like it is. For some reason, Trey McBride has not had a really good start to the season so far. But I feel like a lot of tight ends haven't had a really good start to the season, right? Trey McBride has caught the ball 14 times. He's had 122 yards, averages about 8.7 yards a catch. So, I mean, he's getting involved, but honestly, I was expecting a lot more explosives coming from Trey McBride, to be honest with you. And we just haven't seen it yet, right? We just haven't seen it yet. So, it's going to suck. Absolutely. It's going to be terrible. But here's the thing. We know Trey McBride's out. Guess what? Austin Eckler, running back for the Commanders, is also out. So he's not going to be playing for the Commanders, he's a part of their two-headed running back duo, right? They got Brian Robinson and they got Eckler. Eckler is out, so they don't have the lightning to the thunder. So far, I feel like the Arizona Cardinals have actually done pretty good defensively in stopping the run, except for obviously week 3, right? Except for week 3. But for the most part, they contained James Cook. They contained Kyren Williams, right? We were able to do that defensively. I think this defense is actually better than most people want to give them credit for. And guess what? This defense is a lot of no names outside the Cardinals organization. Outside the Cardinals organization, in the Cardinals fandom, the Cardinals fan base, a lot of people don't really know them. But this defense is actually showing out pretty good. We didn't do a good job against Montgomery. We didn't do a good job against Jahmyr Gibbs, right? Their run game is what beat us. And our lack of run is what kind of shot us in the foot. We cannot be a one-dimensional team. That's a fact. That's facts. But for the most part, we contained James Cook. We shut down Kyren Williams. We just couldn't do that against a Lions two-headed monster, which, I guess we'll give them a mulligan for that year, or that week. But this week is very crucial. It's very crucial for the Arizona Cardinals to absolutely stop the run. They need to. So let's talk about this. What do the Arizona Cardinals need to do to have some success? Have some success against this Washington Commanders team. Because let's be honest here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's be honest. There's a lot of people right now, nationally, that are really buying into the Kool-Aid of the Washington Commanders. They're buying into the Kool-Aid of the Washington Commanders. Am I wrong? Let me know in the chat. They're buying into the Kool-Aid. They seen what they did to a Cincinnati Bengals team that has playoff aspirations. Maybe not anymore because they're 0-3. Some people might say the Bengals are dead in the water, but I mean, they can still go on a run. There's a lot of teams right now that are sitting at 1-2, just like the Cardinals. Right now, there's a lot of teams right now that are sitting at 1-2. So it still gives me optimism. It still gives me a little hope as a Cardinal fan that we could potentially make a run ourselves. Now, our schedule isn't kind, but I mean, it's one of those things where, okay, well, if you want to be a playoff team, you're going to have to beat these guys anyways, right? So what are some things the Cardinals need to do? I think it's simple. The Cardinals need to run the dang ball. And we need to do it efficiently with James Conner. We cannot see another game like we saw against the Lions. We cannot see that again. That was terrible. We cannot be a one-dimensional team. And not just that, we can't just keep forcing the ball to Marvin Harrison Jr. You can't just keep chucking the ball. No, you have other wide receivers that can make a catch. Michael Wilson, Greg Dortch, our tight end and Elijah Higgins. We got to make sure that our run game is a big focal point in this game. And guess what? The Commanders' defense, which was once a pretty solid defense, is not that great this year. It's not that great. They got some pieces on paper, right? They got some pieces on paper on the defensive line, but they're not really showing out very good. They're not showing out really good this year. Their cornerbacks aren't great. The Arizona Cardinals should have a field day. Should, right? Should have a field day. Offensively. They should have a field day offensively because right now, the cornerbacks of the Washington Commanders stands as this. They got Benjamin St. Just Mike St. They got a lot of young kids. They got a lot of young talent over there in the cornerbacks. There's a lot of people I don't even know. That doesn't mean they're bad. But there's a lot of people that we don't know. Emmanuel Forbes, another young guy. I think this is his year 2, if not year 3. The Cardinals' passing game should be absolutely going crazy this game. So obviously we need to start off with the run, but we need to make sure that we can throw that ball around, right? Michael Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr., Greg Dortch, Elijah Higgins, if you want to throw the ball to him. One guy that I fear in their defense, and I know on paper he's not great, right? I'm sorry. On paper, he's good. I know in 2024, he's not done great. That's what I'm trying to say. Daron Payne and Jonathan Allen and Bobby Wagner. Those are the 3 guys on this defense that I'm like, okay, watch out for them. Or actually, I guess if you want to throw Jeremy Chin in there. And he's just because I want to give them an extra guy, right? I want to give him an extra guy. But there's really 3 players that I'm really like, okay, we got to watch out for these guys. Daron Payne, Jonathan Allen, Bobby Wagner. Actually, Dante Fowler's not bad. But he's 30. He's 30 years old. He hasn't really done very much this year as well. So their defense, I feel like the Arizona Cardinals should have a field day today. And I'm saying should because we don't know, right? Any given Sunday, you never know what's going to happen, right? You never know what's going to happen. So should have a field day. Now, offensively, so we already talked about, we need to be able to establish that run for the Cardinals, right? We should be having a field day offensively. I think this is going to be high scoring. Now, yes, I said that last week for the Lions too. Yes, I'm wrong. I was wrong. I'm sorry. Who would have known we were only going to score 10 freaking points after destroying the Rams? Okay, I was wrong on the Lions one. But this one right here, I feel like it's going to be an actually high-scoring game. Their offense is actually pretty good. Jaden Daniels, I'm not on the Kool-Aid quite yet. I think he's still a really good, young, promising quarterback. I'm not saying he's bad, but to grant him saying he's going to beat a Cardinals team, like off the rip, I'm not crowning that yet. I like their running back in I like their running back in Brian Robinson. We just talked about this a little earlier. Austin Eckler's not a go. He's not playing. Their only wide receiver that I'm like, oof, watch out for him, Terry McLaurin. They got some young guys, though. Luke McCaffrey, promising. They got Noah Brown, more of a veteran, right? More of a veteran. But guess what? They also got Zach Ertz, ladies and gentlemen. They also got Zach Ertz. There's Commander fans out there that are saying this is going to be the revenge tour from Ertz and Cliff Kingsbury. I never had a problem with Zach Ertz. Obviously, in order for Trey McBride to run, right, to blossom, you needed to do something with Zach Ertz, and the Cardinals decided to release him. So now he's with the Commanders. So they got some pieces, right? They got some pieces. But Jaden Daniels is having a pretty good season, start to a season. 664 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He's having a pretty good start to his young rookie season. Now, what we also got to do, we got to find a way to contain him. We got to find a way to contain him. Right now, Jaden Daniels has carried the ball 38 times. 38 times. Yes, for the people in the back, 38 times Jaden Daniels has carried the ball. And to kind of give you a little comparison, let's look at Kyler Murray, right? Because obviously, when you're talking about Kyler, you're talking about Lamar Jackson, you're talking about any other mobile quarterback, you want to kind of compare the two to kind of see where they're at, right? You want to be able to compare the two. Let's see where Kyler is right now. See if I can get this going here real quick. 1 second. Let me get the splits up. 1 second. I'm trying to get this loaded up here real fast. Okay, so right now, why doesn't it show the rushing like it shows on it? It's probably because he's got 1 year compared to Kyler. Okay, so Kyler right now in 2024 has carried the ball. Okay, here's the rushing. Sorry, my goodness. Why is this? Okay, here we go. Is it 15? Yeah, 15 times. So Kyler right now has carried the ball 15 times compared to Jaden Daniels has carried the ball 38 times. So Jaden has had a really good week 3 matchup. And I do not want to take, like, week 3 for him on Monday night when everybody was looking, he looked good. He looked really good. But don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. He's carried the ball 38 times so far in 2024, while Kyler Murray has carried the ball 15 times. Big difference. Big difference. We're talking about a young quarterback that I'm not going to say is number one option, but he loves to run the ball, right? Especially if there's nobody down the field. We need to find a way to contain him. There needs to be a way to contain Jaden. Because if we can contain Jaden in the back and not allow him to obviously extend plays with his legs, I feel like this game can be good for the Cardinals. And the defense gets a lot of flack, right? The defense gets a lot of flack on our defense. You also got to look at who we played. We played the Bills, tough matchup. We played the Lions, which they're a tough matchup too, but the defense really showed out. And then we played the Lions. The Cardinals defense held this Lions team to 20 points. And they shut them out in the second half. They shut out the Lions in the second half. So this defense is actually proving that they can be good. They can be good. We just need our offense to play complementary football with the Arizona Cardinals defense. We need complementary football is what we're looking at. So another little recap. So far in 2024, Jaden Daniels has carried the ball 38 times. He's got 3 rushing touchdowns. His longest run is 17 yards. To Kyler Murray, in 2024, he's rushed the ball 15 times. So, big difference, right? Big difference. The Cardinals defense, and I'm looking at you, Dennis. I'm looking at you, Zaven. We need to be able to contain him back there. We need to be able to contain Jaden Daniels in the back by sending plays that's going to absolutely confuse him, right? Whether you want to crowd the line, peel the linebackers back, whether you want to throw a cornerback blitz, whether you want to get Budda Baker involved and send a safety blitz on him, right? We need to be able to use the fact that this is his 4th game in the NFL to our advantage. And if we can't do that with a head coach that's a defensive-minded head coach and Nick Rallis, then we got a little bit of an issue. I still do think this is going to be a high-scoring event. I really do. But the Cardinals need to be able to contain Jaden Daniels. If we can do that, I think we'll be fine against the run game and Brian Robinson. I'm not saying I don't fear him. I'm just saying He's not David Montgomery. I'm just saying he's not Jahmyr Gibbs. Heck, he's not even Kyron in my eyes. So we've played tougher running backs so far this year. There's no way the Cardinals should not be able to contain this kid back there. We got to do something. I know we're going to give up points. I'm not going to say we're going to shut him out because that's not the case. There's going to be a lot of points up on this game, a lot of points. But looking at his stats, he seems to want to run the ball a lot. Maybe that was just the first 2 games, probably. He did have a masterclass in week 3, and that's what a lot of people are thinking about. Oh, he looked really good. You're right, he did look good. We'll give him kudos to where kudos is due. But the Cincinnati Bengals are also 0-3 for a reason, right? The Cardinals are 1-2. But think about it. The Cardinals are 1-2 because we played such a tough start to our schedule. We can get this back right. We can get this ship back on track. Just come out with the win. And then we play the 49ers, which is a division game. You never know what happens. They're still very, very hurt over there. We have an opportunity here. Don't get it twisted. This is not going to be an easy game. No games in the NFL are easy. But you got to take advantage of what is provided to you. Guess what? The Seahawks did it. The Seahawks took advantage of that. And they're sitting at 3-1. I'm sorry, they're sitting at 3-0 right now. Right? So this is where the standings are right now. If you're not really familiar with the standings or what it looks like, here's the standings in the NFC West. We got 3 teams that are tied at 1-2. 49ers, Rams, Cardinals. Seahawks 3-0. Guess what? The Seahawks took advantage of the schedule that was given to them. They took advantage, and they got the job done. They beat a Miami Dolphins team with no Tua. They beat a New England Patriots team with Jacoby Brissett. And they played a rookie quarterback in week 1 with the Denver Broncos. Congratulations, you're 3-0. But, like I said, you got to take advantage of what is provided you. This is a winnable game for the Cardinals. I'm not going to say it's easy, no, but it's a winnable game. We got to get back to 500. No more excuses. I'm done with them. We can get back to 500 with the win here. Let's show out and let's see what we can do. Let's see what the chat says. We got X saying Zay is suspended because of the case he had outside the NFL. Yes, Zay Jones, if you guys do not know, is still suspended. He's got a 5-week suspension. So that means he's not eligible to come back to week 6. So maybe when Zay Jones comes back, this opens up the offense a little bit more. But I still do feel like our wide receivers right now are more than good enough to win games. I still like Dortch. I still like Michael Wilson. And, of course, we all know Marvin. What's up, Vince? Vince in the chat says, Mike, do you think we have an issue with Cliff knowing K1's weak areas? No, I don't think so. I mean, Cliff is not going to be calling the defense. Unless he got with the defensive coordinator and said, hey, this is what he struggles with, then okay, we'll give him that. But this offense that we're running is completely night and day different than Cliff Kingsbury's offense. It's night and day different. So I'm not really worried about Cliff Kingsbury, honestly. He's going to try to call a very, very good game. He's going to try to win this game because that's his job, right? Is there a little bit more juice to Cliff Kingsbury to try to win this game? Of course, right? Just like Kyler Murray. There's a little bit more juice for Kyler Murray to try to win this game too, because of kind of what's at stake. But I'm not really worried about Cliff Kingsbury. He's offensive coordinator. We got to take advantage of what we can take advantage of, and that is we got week 4 matchup versus the Commanders with the rookie quarterback. The Seahawks beat a rookie quarterback in the Broncos. But yeah, this offense is night and day different. So I'm not really worried about Cliff Kingsbury. We have more protection. We have more heavier packages. We have more people blocking. Kyler Murray's not in 99.9% of the time in shotgun. So now I'm not really worried about it. Yes, Marvin Harrison Jr. is playing. Yeah, he's not out. The only people that are out right now that we know of is Trey McBride and Kyrie's Tunga. Those are the only guys that are out for the Cardinals. Some big impactful players for the Commanders that are out. Eckler's out. So that's a big blow for their offense. It really is. Let's take a look here to see if we can get into ESPN and see what the injury report looks like for this week 4 matchup. So we got Tunga out. We got McBride out. Isaiah Adams is questionable, but it looked like Kelvin Beachum was trending in the right direction. So I think we're good there. Let me see what the Commanders are looking like right now. Right now, the Commanders, we know Eckler's out. Jamison Crowder is out. Cleveland Farrell is out. So those are the top 3 guys that are out. Austin Eckler, Cleveland Farrell, and then Jamison Crowder. That's going to be for the Commanders. Now, the official final one isn't out yet. Is there still going to be people that are inactive? Yes, there is. But maybe healthy scratch guys, maybe guys that were questionable. But Marvin Harrison Jr. is a go. He's going to play. No doubt. No doubt. I have no problem with that. We need to win this game. Just back to it. We need to win this game. So going back to the success, what we need to do. Going back to the successes. Run the ball. James Conner cannot have another performance like we did against the Lions. We can't. We can't allow that coaching staff to dictate what we do on our end. We just can't allow it. Run the ball efficiently, and then we take our shots down the field with Kyler Murray and Marvin and Michael Wilson and Elijah Higgins and Greg Dortch. So there's that. Defensively, there needs to be a way to completely shut this kid, or not shut him down, but contain him. He's a rookie. So far, Jaden has carried the ball 38 times. Compared to Kyler Murray's carried the ball 15 times in 3 games. So there's a level of he wants to run the ball, right? There's a level of he might want to run the ball if he gets a little bit flustered back there. Dennis Gardick, Zaven Collins. Contain him into that pocket. Do not allow him to run out of the pocket because him, just like Kyler Murray, can be very, very dangerous. Him, just like Kyler Murray, can be very, very dangerous. If we allow him to extend plays, if we allow him to sit back there and make a sandwich, it's going to be not good. Just like any other quarterback, right? It's not just like, Jaden Daniels is great. I mean, Jaden Daniels is a good young quarterback, but we can bring him down. We can do it. Dennis already has had a really good start to a season. Zaven, pretty good. It sucks that Justin Jones won't go, but we're going to see Bilal Nichols. It just gives more room for when Darius Robinson does come back. We're going to be good. We're going to be fine. Here we go. Super chat coming our way. What's up, Cigar Brother? He says this. Do you think Cliff will run the score up on purpose to prove a point? Woo, that's a good question. That's a good question. Well, I mean, I don't think that the Cardinals will be in a situation where they're going to be in the situation where they're going to have to, run the score up, right? I don't think the situation's going to be there. I think they're going to score points, and I think we're going to score points. If we don't score points, like I'm predicting that I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, then we're going to have a bigger problem in our hands. Then we're going to have a much bigger problem in our hands. But I don't think we're going to be in a situation where we have to worry about Cliff running up the score, because I feel like their defense, we should be able to have a field day against them. Marvin, Michael, Greg, I think we should be able to have a field day against them. So, to me, I don't see this happening. But like I said, if the alternative happens, then we're having a completely different post-game reaction later on today. Good question, though. I mean, that's a good question. If it does happen, then like I said, we'll address that later. Appreciate the super chat. We got my guy Tony in the chat. Says right now, DraftKings has Kyler Murray at a negative 150 for 25 rushing yards. Is that attainable in today's game? 25 rushing yards? I think so. Yeah, I think so. Kyler Murray is good when he's able to unlock all the things that he can do, right? Use his legs, extend plays with his legs, keep his eyes downfield, throw the ball to Marvin, throw the ball to Michael Wilson. Kyler Murray's good when he's able to do all these things right. I think 25 yards is definitely attainable. I don't think that Commanders' defense is great. I really don't. I don't think they're great. I think the Arizona Cardinals have an opportunity here to come back to 500. Am I speaking to with my chest puffed up? Maybe, right? We'll find out here after week 4. But you better bet your bottom dollar. We better win this game. We better win this game. We can't regress. We can't. We already had a heartbreak from the freaking Diamondbacks right now. If you're not a baseball fan, you don't know what I'm talking about. There's still a chance for playoffs, though. A slight sliver chance of the playoffs for the Diamondbacks. But I digress. Let's continue to talk about football. Kyler Murray needs to have a good game. Tony said, because you have said that he rushed only 15 times this year. Well, that's the thing. I mean, keep in mind, though, right? Keep in mind, 15 yards from Kyler Murray, you can get 12 yards in one carry, right? You know what I mean? So, like, me saying that he only rushed the ball 15 times, that's in 3 games. I was just comparing Jaden to Kyler, right? That's all I was doing. I'm not saying he can't. I think he can get 25 yards. I think he can. That just means that he's being very, very explosive with those 15 carries. You know what I mean? Because with those 15 carries he had in 2024, he had 161 yards in those 15 carries. All right? Jaden Daniels had 171 yards. So that just means Kyler Murray's carries are a lot more efficient than Jaden's. Jaden has 171 yards with 38 carries. Kyler Murray has 15 carries for 161. 10 yards difference, but almost more than double the amount of carries that Jaden did, right? So, yeah. I think Kyler could get that, personally. But, I mean, don't come at me if he doesn't. But I think he can. It just means he's more efficient with when he decides to run. That's all that means. And I was only bringing it up because a rookie quarterback can very well get confused if there's a defense that's very, very intricate, right? That's very, very a good defense that has a lot of disguises. That's all I'm saying. We need to be able to use that to our advantage. Because if he thinks that he's seeing a cover 2, but it's a completely different coverage, then we could potentially get a pick. Could potentially have him hold the ball longer than he anticipates. And hopefully, Zaven and Garda can get back there. We got to get this win. Excuses are done for me. I'm done with it. Mr. Fat Gangster says yes, but he's rushing for big gains each time. Boom, there you go. Mr. Fat, yep, there you go. Mr. Fat Gangster says the same thing. He's just more efficient with his runs compared to Jaden. That's all it says. So, keys to success. Keys to success. Run the ball, James Conner. Run the ball down their throat. Don't become one-dimensional. And let Kyler fling the ball around. Because this defense, if there's a chance to get right, is on this defense right here versus the Commanders. If you're looking for a get right game, this is going to be the opportunity to do so. Right here. Defensively, obviously rattled the cage of Jaden Daniels. And here's the thing. I think our defense is better than most people think, honestly. I was giving them so much flack. I was giving them so much unknown. But to be honest with you, the defense holding the Lions to a shutout in the second half, only allowing 20 points. Or was it a shutout? Yeah, it was a shutout, right? They didn't allow any points in the second half. The Arizona Cardinals defense also was the same defense that gave the Cardinals an opportunity to win in that last drive versus the Bills. So, and then we all know what happened in the Rams game, right? This defense is better than most people think. And yes, we did shut down. I'm just correcting myself. Yes, the Lions were shut out in the second half versus the Cardinals. The Cardinals only scored 3 points, but we could have tied up if our offense just did anything in the second half. They just didn't. They just didn't. Username in the chat says extend Mac Wilson Sr. Well, I mean, he just signed with us. So there's no point of opening up that Pandora's box. He just signed with us. Let's read a couple more chats and then we're going to close up shop. Right now we're sitting about 12 minutes away from the start of football Sunday, and I'm excited. I'm not sure what you guys did. You guys play fantasy football? I got my fantasy lineup already ready to go. I'm trying to start off 4-0 on one league, and I'm trying to get right and go to 3-1 in another league. So I'm ready to go, ladies and gentlemen. I'm ready to go. Let's read a couple more comments, and then we're going to be closing up shop. Appreciate y'all for being here. If you guys haven't already smacked the like button, do me a huge favor. Smack up the like button. Do it for the algorithm. Right now, we're sitting with over 100 people on YouTube and close to 50 here on the X/Twitter side. So go and smack up that like button, and let's read a couple comments, and we're going to go ahead and close up shop. Let's go over to Micah. Give credit to Gannon. He really knows how to use defenses with a low ceiling and its full potential. Yes, I agree. We've been talking about very much unknown with this defense, but you got to give kudos to where kudos is due. Absolutely. And the kudos goes to the fact that this defense is actually showing out with very underfunded defense, right? We don't need those big star-studded names to have a good defense. And so far, they're looking really, really well. Tony, what's up, Tony? Why haven't we seen Ryman on running plays after the card said in the preseason the ball was moving when he was in? I think it comes down to depth chart and who we have on the roster. With Trey McBride out today, you probably will see more Tip Ryman today. Yeah, you will see more. The fact is, Tip Ryman's a rookie, right? They really like what they've seen in Elijah Higgins. He's a playmaking tight end. They obviously like Trey McBride, so you can only have so many tight ends on the field at the same time. So, the good question, but you're probably going to see that this week with Trey McBride being out. Nova says, I'm hoping to go 3-1 in my fantasy. I'm hoping to go 4-0 in one, 3-1 in another, and I think 3-1 in another as well. So I'm doing pretty good in fantasy. I'm doing pretty good. Jesus, what's up, Jesus? He says, at Mike, I don't believe in Kyler, but he has no excuses. He needs to win today. If he doesn't, then I'll say this all season and trade him. Well, that's fair. That's fair. I agree with you. I think this is a must-win for Kyler and a must-win for the Arizona Cardinals too. Excuses are done as well for me. We need to get back to 2-2. Let's get a big red W. Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen. All right. We're going to be closing up shop. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Appreciate y'all. And like I mentioned before, all you need to do, and I know there's a lot of people that are really confused with how YouTube works because the only way that they actually see my videos is because YouTube recommends it. But we are going live a lot. We're doing a lot of live shows on this channel throughout the entirety of the season. Make sure you have your post notification bell on. And then make sure if you do want to check out a live stream, all you need to do is go onto the YouTube channel. Here we go. And on this live tab, click on that. And you'll see all the live shows we have already done. We're going to be going live later on today at 7:30 p.m. We're most likely going to be opening up the phone lines for the people that love to jump on here and give opinions. We're going to go ahead and open up the phone lines a little later on. So we already got that scheduled for 7:30 p.m. And obviously, you got this one already going live. So make sure you have your post notification bell on. Make sure you subscribe to the Arizona Sports Fan here on YouTube. We're going to be closing up shop, but let me give a huge shout out here to the sponsors of the video, BetUS. If you're looking for a brand new sports book, BetUS is the way to go. Currently, right now, they are using, currently, right now, they do have a great promotion where you can go ahead and use this promo code YouTube 150, and they'll provide you 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit and 125% sign-up bonus on your next two. Now, that is going to be up to $2,000 by using promo code YouTube 150 upon signing up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I'll see you guys much later. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to every one of you guys. Have a great rest of your day, and let's get this win. Go Cardinals.